What's happening, my Jacked family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com. Today's video, I'm going to give you a physique update, show you how I'm looking after what has been the best year of muscle building I have ever gone through. Going to give you a complete breakdown of everything that went on throughout this year, the whole process of getting where I'm at right now, and lessons I've learned, as well as what I will be doing a little bit different next year. So let's get to it. Look forward to hearing your thoughts, your feedback, your insights into my journey and how you're going to implement this into your transformation journey in this upcoming year as well, making 2021 your best year ever for getting jacked after 40. I began 2020 with a 4-week mini cut throughout the month of January, dropped about 6 pounds. I say I started off that journey a little bit, I think 2 pounds lighter than what I'm at right now, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm relatively, I'd say, very close to the same level of leanness that I was at the beginning of January, so be interested to see if this extra 2 to 3 pounds is muscle gain that I have, or if I gained extra fat throughout this year than I did the previous year. So really looking forward to making that comparison. At the end of the cut, I looked probably the best I have ever looked. And I went through a month of maintenance, and at the beginning of March, I did a body fat scan that measured me at 7.4% body fat, weighing 146 pounds. For reference, 5 foot, close to 5'7", more like 5'6.5". And 45 years young. And then another month of maintenance after that. So 4-week mini cut and 2 months of maintenance, just to kind of really, more than anything, find my maintenance. So I really took that 2 months to see what caloric intake worked best for me for maintaining my body weight. It's something I've never done in the past, just kind of gone by the calculations and mostly just jumped right into a muscle building phase. So it really felt good to have 2 weeks of really finding my maintenance, really allowing my body to kind of establish that set point, really get used to that level of leanness. Felt absolutely phenomenal. My maintenance level calories at that point we're right around 2,800 to 3,000 is what I settled in with as well, because I found that first week of February getting into maintenance level calories as around, based on the calculators, I was between 2,600 and 2,700 calories, but I was still kind of losing just a tiny bit of weight that first week. So I bumped it up to 2,800, and that seemed to suit me really well. I actually realized at that point that my activity level, I was using, I think, the moderate activity factor with the calorie calculator, which is what I've always used in the past, but my activity had increased from the past. I was standing at my stand-up desk all day long working, getting out for the 2 walks, doing my 5 workouts a week. So more active than I was before. Before, when I was working, I was sitting down. So it's probably burning a few extra 100 calories throughout my day just from being at my stand-up desk. So I had to incorporate that into my calculations, which brought me up to 2,800 to 3,000 to maintain my body weight around that 146 pounds. Then for the next 7 months, between April through October, I remained in a gentle caloric surplus, around 3,000, sometimes 3,100 calories per day, and gained consistently 1 pound per month, sometimes just barely over that pound per month. So nice and slow and steady, and it was a steady, consistent increase in body weight each month. So no big pig out fest, no months where I gained like 3 pounds and then had to hold it for the next month. It was consistent, slow and steady progress each and every month, which felt absolutely fantastic. So I knew I was in a gentle caloric surplus just by seeing that weight going up consistently week after week and month after month. Week after week, it's tough. It's just going up like a quarter pound a month is very tough to see on the scale because you have those fluctuations through day, but it was the trend I was looking for, just that gentle trend that was continuing to go upwards with my body weight. And now through the month of November and December, I'm going to be in maintenance mode, really consuming right around the 2,800 calories per day, just trying to hold my weight and hold on to this muscle, really establish this new set point for any muscle that I would have gained during the process. I don't want to just drop right down into a cutting phase and shed any of the fat that I gained just yet. You really want your body to solidify the gains that you experienced throughout this 7-month process. And really, like I said, establish this new set point here. So now let's take a look at how I'm looking right now. We're gonna start with some flexed posing, which you're gonna see is really a drastic difference, I think, when I'm relaxed. So side here, you can see I'm looking pretty damn tight, pretty damn detailed. You see the obliques there. You can see some lower ab details still. And I'm gonna have a side-by-side comparison so you can see what it looked like at the end of the cutting phase, back at the end of January. So you can see that it was definitely leaner. I was definitely tighter, firmer back then, but right now probably looking a little bit fuller. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there. I'm gonna show you the other side here. Just a little different lighting. Each side looks a little bit different. But again, just really, really happy with how I'm looking when I'm flexed, and just still seeing the details in the obliques, seeing the details in the abs, seeing the details in the arms and shoulders. So really, really happy with how I'm looking when I'm controlling my poses. And this is probably what you would see a lot of times in the social media posts. If you're on Instagram or whatever, everyone's kind of posing. They're trying to make themselves look their best. So I got a little twist, which makes my obliques pop out a little bit more, makes my waist look a little bit thinner when I'm flexing like that. Everything contracted just brings out the details of your physique. And you can see a little comparison right now of just facing the camera head on. Not the most flattering pose. This is, even if I'm trying to show my best self, a head-on photo, video really doesn't look the best, but still, I'm showing it for video purposes to show you how my physique has changed over this past year, what the difference in body fat looks like, using it for those purposes right now. And now for the true reveal in the difference of how your physique looks, not only between posing and being relaxed, but also how my relaxed look appears right now compared to my relaxed look when I was at the end of that cutting phase at the end of January 2020 here. And you can see there is, without a doubt, from this 7 to 8 pounds that I have gained this past year since the end of January, I have gained some fat. You can see it in that lower belly area, the love handle area, the obliques. Not that I have love handles there, but that, you know, that area I'm talking about. The whole spare tire going around. I'm not saying I've got a spare tire right now, but it's that area that goes around your lower midsection there. That is definitely where I store my body fat. So you can clearly see that I have gained fat throughout this process. Lower back is another area. I didn't show this in the video, but lower back is definitely an area where I carry some of that fat as well. So here's one of the big things that I want to make clear here is that a lot of people will say, there's some physique coaches, they say gaining 1 pound per month is way too slow. You can't be afraid to lose your abs in the name of building muscle here. But again, it's all individual. Like I said, I'm a smaller guy, so 1 pound per month for me, it's different than someone who's 200 pounds. 1 pound per month, they might want to gain closer to 1.5 pounds per month. But for me, clearly I was gaining fat throughout this process. So if I'm gaining fat steadily, consistently, month after month, gaining weight consistently month after month, and seeing that some of that weight is fat, I'm clearly getting enough calories to build muscle. If I was to consume any more calories than what I was during this process, chances are it was all going to be fat. I would say 99.9% confidence that if I bumped up my caloric intake any higher than it was and tried to gain more than 1 pound per month, any extra weight that I would have gained would have been fat. And it would just mean that I'm gonna have to extend my cutting phase even longer to burn off that fat, or I may have had to pull the chute sooner to get into a fat loss phase sooner than I am right now, rather than enjoying 7 months in a surplus and a total of 4 months of maintenance level calories. And very important to note that maintenance level calories, when I'm maintaining my weight in February and March, and when I'm maintaining my weight now in November and December, there is still the opportunity for growth during this time. I still probably getting an adequate amount of calories to build some muscle during this process, and definitely living my life to the fullest. And something that's important to me, other than how I'm looking in my underwear, is how I look in my clothes, how my clothes fit. And so I'm gonna show you here wearing my 30-inch waist jeans. These are tight fitting, stretchy jeans, but right now I'm probably testing the limits of their stretchiness. So gaining any more weight, I'd have to buy a new wardrobe. I'd have to buy size 32-inch waist or 31-inch waist in order to feel comfortable in them. Around the waist, I'm definitely what I enjoy feeling is the tightness around the thighs and my butt. So either I've gained some muscle on my thighs or my butt, or chances are I probably added a little bit of fat there as well. Based on what I've seen in some video footage, I mean, still get some vascularity in the legs, but I'd say not quite near the level of vascularity that I had at the end of my mini cut and the beginning of this muscle building phase. So jeans are definitely feeling tighter, and yeah, I don't want to have to go out and buy a new wardrobe just for the sake of building muscle, and I'm not feeling as comfortable in my jeans. Actually, I'm not feeling as comfortable overall, and I'm not talking about like how comfortable I am in my own skin, like how I look. I still absolutely love how I look right now. Hell yeah, I'm gonna go to the beach, or I would go to the beach taking my shirt off with confidence. I still have all the confidence in the world with how I look right now. I think I look fantastic. And especially when I strike my poses, especially when I'm wearing a tank top at the gym, looking bigger, looking fuller. But I do prefer how I looked 3 to 4 pounds lighter than where I'm at right now. So I really found at the beginning of this transformation, as I gained that first 4 pounds, you really couldn't tell, like I couldn't see any fat gain. I looked pretty much just as lean having gained 4 pounds than I was at the beginning of the muscle building phase, at the end of the cutting phase. So the changes, although I'm sure I gained some fat, it wasn't visible, it wasn't detectable. So it was a sweet spot where like that first 4 pounds, I looked and felt my best. I probably looked better, like my best 4 pounds heavier, so around that 150 pound mark compared to the 146 pound mark, because I still looked just about as lean and I looked bigger and fuller. So I'd say that 150 pound mark was probably my sweet spot, and that level of leanness was my sweet spot. Then it was like the next 3 to 4 pounds, the fat gain became more apparent. You could see it being deposited more around the love handle, the lower belly. I was getting that little bit of pocket of fat just below the belly button there, and which is the first place it gets added on, typically the last place it comes on. So was definitely noticing those visual changes from the last 3 to 4 pounds. So when I say I'm not feeling comfortable at this point, it's not comfortable with how I look. I love how I look. It's just, I feel, again, like I don't feel comfortable in my jeans like I did before, so my clothes aren't fitting quite as good. I'm feeling full, like I'm almost feeling, I don't want to say bloated, but I just feel full all the time. It reminds me of that feeling when I was like 50 pounds overweight and just feeling full all the time around my stomach, like always feeling like I had food in me, just feeling stuffed all the time, even though I'd had long periods of time between eating here. So it's amazing how just this last 3 to 4 pounds has had me feeling just full all the time. It's got nothing to do with my digestive system. When I'm eating, I've been eating, everything is consistently the same, just quantities. I just think it's the way the fat is being deposited. Maybe I have a little bit more, maybe those first 3 to 4 pounds is more like visceral fat around the organs and everything. And that's just kind of, as I've added on more the next 3 to 4 pounds, like at this stage, I just feel full, and I don't like that feeling. I don't feel sluggish. I still have the same amount of energy. I just feel full. I don't feel like I'm moving as well as I did when I was 150 pounds compared to now at 154 pounds. So just a lesson learned for me. It should be, again, this Jacked After 40 lifestyle is about living your life to the fullest, looking your best, feeling your best, living your life to the fullest. And I say at this point, like the past few pounds, I'm not feeling my best. I definitely felt better lighter, which is, you hear so many stories from other people's experiences and other fit pros and everything, like, you got to gain that body fat in order to feel your best. You're not going to be feeling your best if you're under 10% body fat. And I got to tell you, I feel way better when I'm a little bit lighter than I am right now. Physically, I feel better. My strength isn't any different than what it was back then. I was just as strong in February and March at maintenance level calories, in April at the beginning of the surplus and everything. Like, I had great strength then, just as good a strength as I have right now. So my body fat being fatter right now hasn't had any kind of positive impact on my strength, on my well-being, on my sleep, on any other issues that you could think of. Everything was exactly the same then as it is right now. So adding that little bit of extra body fat isn't serving me any added benefit. So other than knowing that, okay, for sure I definitely was in a caloric surplus and definitely giving my body the best chance to build muscle. It's just I gained some extra fat in the process. So now let's get to what I'm gonna do different this upcoming year in 2021. For the mini cut, I may go just a little bit slower. This time I may go with just like 1 pound per week of weight loss, or I may try the alternating method. I mentioned it in a recent video of the Matador study, where they did 2 weeks of aggressive deficit at like 33% deficit, 2 weeks at maintenance, 2 weeks at the 33% deficit, 2 weeks at maintenance, and how they were able to maintain more muscle mass and experience greater fat loss than the group who consistently consumed a 33% deficit. So haven't yet decided whether I'm just going to do slow and steady 1 pound per month or follow that 2 weeks of a little bit more aggressive dieting and 2 weeks of a diet break. So kind of break it up, see how it feels. So that I'm a little bit unsure of, but either way, I think my mini cut, instead of being 4 weeks, will probably end up being 6 weeks. Just depends on how much fat I actually gained. If the 7 to 8 pounds is all fat, then it might take me a little bit longer to burn that off than if 2 pounds to 3 pounds is muscle. I'll burn that fat off a little bit quicker. I do plan on getting close to that same, right around that same level of leanness, that 7.4% body fat, like 7 to 8% body fat at the end of that mini cut in January. So gonna keep that consistent. I may jump right back into a gentle surplus, especially since I kind of know where my maintenance level calories is, what I learned from last year. Rather than spending 2 weeks at maintenance, I think I'm gonna go right up to a very gentle surplus. And I think instead of, so there's two options that I'm gonna roll with here. I'm kind of playing around in my mind. So option number one is, instead of gaining 1 pound per month, I may slow that down. I may cut that in half and see what gaining half a pound per month leads to. Now, that is very difficult to gauge. Like, it's tough to see the gradual linear change of adding just 1 pound per month, because the day-to-day fluctuations. I just gotta trust the process. I gotta trust that I know that 3,000 to 3,100 calories per month got me gaining 1 pound per month. So I just gotta trust that if I consume maybe 2,900 calories per day, 28 to 2,900 calories per day, that's less. I should be gaining weight at a slower rate. So just trust that process and kind of see how the linear progression goes throughout the month, because there's going to be fluctuations from day to day. It's never linear. You're just looking at the trend through the month. So if I go with that approach of just half a pound per month, I may be consistently building for a lot longer. Like, I may not have to do a mini cut in January next year, or if I do, it's only going to be like a 2-week mini cut at the most, because chances are, instead of gaining the 7 to 8 pounds during this year of building, I'm only going to gain about 4 pounds, and hopefully most of that is muscle, and hopefully it's like I'll be able to get any little fat that I had gained off in a very, very short period of time, like 2 weeks at the most. I should be able to strip that fat off. So that is approach. I'd say I'm probably leaning more to that approach, seeing how my body responds to that. And this ties into a lot of the research that you see out there. I know Lyle McDonald has recommended a rate of weight gain of up to 0.25% of your body weight per month when you're an advanced lifter. Eric Helms in the muscle building pyramid there has talked about a rate of weight gain of up to 0.5% of your total body weight. So this would fall right in alignment. So as crazy low as it may sound, it's basically based on the evidence that's out there rather than just the bro science that you hear being spewed out by some bodybuilders as well as some physique coaches as well. The other option is rolling with the same approach of the 3,000 to 3,100 calories per day, gaining 1 pound per month, but instead of doing 7 months in that surplus, I may just do 4 months in that surplus and then a 2-week mini cut and then get right back up to that gaining 1 pound per week. So instead of not dragging, this was not, I didn't feel like I dragged, it was freaking ecstatic. If it was a fat loss phase, that would be dragging on. But if I want to, now I lost my train of thought there, but yeah, I don't, instead of having extended muscle building phase, kind of split it up and with a little mini cut in between, rather than waiting for at the end of a longer muscle building phase surplus where I have to do a longer cutting phase. So I'd rather try to keep my little fat loss phases to a minimum. Like 2 to 4 weeks would be ideal to me. I hope you enjoyed this video, getting some insights from this past year of muscle building for myself. Would love to hear your feedback, your insights. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, do me a favor and share it with them. And if you did enjoy this video, please hit that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Smash that alert button so you're notified each time I upload a video. Before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.